blazing trails, you know how Johnny moves. Young black mamba dropping the hottest news, like some mad attorney calling audibles. When it's mindset, I don't know how I'ma lose. Keep it 100, we from the 90s, dude. Freshest podcast out, we on the grind for you. Stuck on your head all day, Gorilla Glue. They think they really gon' out me, pull up with the big tech, call it Silicon Valley. Made it through a dark winter, it was getting so cloudy. Now we got the sickest show in the whole county. It's a cold world, better bundle up. Gotta get the shovel when the truck is stuck. In the middle of a blizzard, still coming up. Tuning in just so I know what is up. It's the Cloud Chronicles.
What up, world? We are back. We are live. This is the Cloud Chronicles, man. You know what time it is. I'm your host, Jerry and Blaze. Thank you for tuning in, man. Thank y'all for who will be watching later. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good jazz, man. If you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, I got a special guest in the house, man. Worked with this man a long time ago. We could do a whole podcast about our old job, but we're not going to get into that, man. We got some other stuff we'll get into. My man right here is an actor. He is a director, man. I want you to welcome to the Cloud Chronicles, Keekee Takatsuki in the building.
Salute. How's things going, man? Finally get back into this. You know, like we've been having these technical difficulties.
Hey, man. Like... It happens, man. It happens, man. I'm glad you could join me today, though, bro. How you doing?
I appreciate you having me on, and I appreciate being part of the Cloud Chronicles and getting on with you. So,
yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, what's been going on, man? I know you started. Well, maybe I think you were doing the acting gig when last I saw you. I think
yeah.
So you've always kind of been acting back when we first met. But for the people who don't know you, man, introduce yourself, give them a little bit of background, man. Tell them about the actor and director that you are.
Okay. I am Keekee Takatsuki. I'm originally from the Garden Isle of Kauai. I've been an actor for approximately 12 years, but pursuing it like full time for the last 6 years. I've always done it. I was a theater kid growing up in high school. I worked audio video through that, kind of the old VHS days, running around with the old original camcorders,
yeah, on your shoulder joints and
oh man, yeah, I could tell you some stories of getting in trouble in high school with that thing. But yeah, like so when I was a kid, I was fortunate enough to have an actor come into our high school, and he was a very well-known actor, and he was one of the inspirations that kind of got me into acting. So, again, I pursued it, but I never, because I was in an entertainment business already for many years, I had success doing that. So like, it was a very hard kind of like decision not to pursue that when I was doing what I was doing, because I was so successful doing that. So when I retired from that industry and got away from that world, I literally was like, I feel like I'm missing something. And, it was still being in the entertainment world. So, I decided to pick up the acting trade again and, take some acting classes, get back into the grind, and kind of polish the tool. And I've been doing it now seriously for the last 6 years, and it's been an amazing journey.
That's what's up, man. Hey, man, it sounds very familiar to me, man. When I got out of the business, man, same thing, man. You kind of go through that where you kind of feel like a little party is missing. Like there's just something like I know I should be doing something. I know it's not that anymore, but there's something there. Then you're trying to find it, and then when you find it, it's just like a breath of fresh life. You know what I mean? You're almost like reborn again, like just got that whole spark going in a whole new industry. You're using all that stuff that you used in that job, though, and applying
yes,
absolutely.
Kind of knowledge. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Definitely, man. So the film stuff, man. So you're directing and acting. So tell me about your very first acting gig that you got.
Man, so legitimate acting thing. I remember being a featured actor on a movie called Lowrider Weekend, and that was actually here in San Antonio. And Jesse Borrego and Danny De La Paz was the main stars in that film. And then, they had Kid Frost came in and did a feature for that production. That was Ephraim production here in San Antonio, and I was blessed to be a part of that. And I kind of got like a little featured extra role in that, where they kind of meet and greet type of thing. Oh, hey,
Right.
this is my friend Keekee,
Yeah.
and you can look back on that film and see that. But then it just kind of progressed from there. I did small stuff. I did background work on The New Guy. I don't know if you remember that movie with
I
Eddie
do. I
Griffin.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, I was on that set, and then I did a couple other things, GoDaddy.com commercial, and a couple other small things. And then when I went back to Hawaii, and actually, to be honest with you, right before I moved back to Hawaii, I was kind of like doing auditions for commercials and things like that, and I was slowly starting to kind of find that craft again, but it wasn't a jump start until I got on the background of Jungle Cruise, and I did
Oh,
background
nice.
work in that, which comes
Nice.
out tonight. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome, man. How was that, man? How was that being on set with that, bro?
that was the biggest film set I've ever been on. $300 million production. We had catering as extras. It was amazing. Like they had built that set on Kauai. I think it took them like 6 weeks to build the set, and then they tore it down in 6 weeks. But when you see the movie and you see how big of an extravagant set that was, for them to do that quick was amazing. Just to be in and around the Rock, I was a wrestling kid fan, and being like 4 foot away from him on set and stuff, it was cool. And then, like, I'm sitting on set, and Emily Blunt comes up to me. She was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Hey, how are you doing?" So it was a very cool experience for sure.
Yeah, man. That's awesome, man. I didn't even know that, man. So I'm looking forward to seeing that movie as it is, but I'm being there looking for you, man, so I can pause it. Be like,
Yeah.
ah.
Well, hopefully, it's out there. Like Chaplin says, you never want to be on the cutting room floor. But hopefully, the scene that I'm in the market square, and I'm one of the market vendors. And my costume, I kind of look like the old John Wayne with the top hat and the poncho. So you
Okay.
can't miss me if you see me. Yeah.
I'll be looking for you, bro. I'll be looking for you, bro. I swear. I said, so directing now. I want to get into about the directing. So was that always something that you wanted to do, or is that something that once you got into the acting, you were like, I might be able to get, like do something behind the scenes as well?
COVID started my directing. To be honest with you, I had kind of did a short film prior to that called Bad Man Orange. You can look it up on YouTube. It's a politically based film, but it was just kind of like a dream that I had, and I just kind of wrote it, and then we shot it. And then the same thing with the film Darkness 2021. It started off as a 5-page short, and after I filmed it, I was just like, it's not enough. So I literally tried to turn it into a series, and then I kept writing, and I was doing, episode 1, 2, 3, 4. And then when we started putting the film together, it was when I realized that, this is just best as a feature. And I literally, I'm like 4 or 5 scenes away from being completed with this production. It's always the last part of it. I swear that's just been the hardest part, getting you go through the footage and you're like, oh, I wish I could have shot that a little bit better. And then you're so critical on your work, and
Right.
For me as a first time filmmaker, I learned as I went, because I didn't go to film school. So like learning, your proper shots, the 180-degree rule. There's certain things that you have to learn kind of like in the moment. And the more hours you spend behind the camera and sitting behind, watching the footage and watching your actors do their lines and seeing the background and seeing everything move, it starts to grow. And I think that's where my passion for it started to build, because it's just like, okay, I'm seeing my writing come to life, and I'm seeing these actors making these scenes happen, and the magic is happening, and it's so gratifying seeing that come true. It's like you make these wishes, right, and then you see the wish come true before your eyes, and it's just like, wow, okay.
Yeah. Or when it materializes from just that first initial thought to you putting it on paper,
Yeah.
and then you look back and you got a whole catalog of stuff that you know what I mean, just like that, and time's just flown by.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you spoke about Darkness, man. So let's talk about that, man. Tell me about it. Tell me about Darkness.
So Darkness is a feature film, and it's based on a true story, which is the background story is of Irene Brackenridge, which she was a landholder here in Texas in San Antonio. And San Antonio is known for Brackenridge Park. It's down by the zoo. But there is a gruesome past to that story that most people don't know about, which was she was the winner of the first Battle of Flowers Parade ribbon. And when she won that, she was an avid gambler. So she went down to the local casino, gambled that night, and won $1,000. Well, a woman to win $1,000, be walking around with that back in those days was not a good thing.
Yeah.
So somebody literally robbed her, killed her, dismembered her, and put her into a suitcase and burned her in her own hotel.
Wow.
So the story is kind of like a spin-off of that. I kind of like took the true story part of that, and then I've taken my kind of twist to it and gave it, and it's basically a vampire piece twisted into that reality.
I like it. I didn't know that, man. So that's a crazy story, man.
Yeah, it's funny because Brackenridge Park has been known for 2 major female fatalities, and the other female that was killed was actually a really well-known actress. And she was burned. Her clothing got caught on fire, and she didn't get burned alive, but she got burned with burned so bad that she eventually died from that situation. And she was the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde actress from the early, I think it was the 40s, 30s.
The old one, the old one.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Black and white joint.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And she was a really well-known actress, and she had passed away because of Brackenridge Park, which happened to be fire related as well, you know.
So was this your first feature film to direct, or was this your first time directing?
Besides my short film, yes, this was my first major project to take on. And when you're wearing every single hat there is to wear, you know, especially, you know, the budget is yours. You know, this film has cost me probably about $15,000 to produce and direct, with buying film equipment and everything myself. You know, and it's definitely been. It's been an amazing journey, but it's also very stressful because there's about 12 actors on set. So getting everybody organized to be where they need to be and getting everybody in place is very hard, especially when you don't have, you know, people picking up the slack for you, you know. But I was lucky again. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask you if you could, like, you know, just kind of elaborate on what, like, you know, talk to these, you know, people who may be wanting to get into film, and, you know, some people who are in your field that are, you know, just starting off. Like, tell them what they're gonna, you know, just basically lay it out for them what could be expected when you try to do your own feature film.
Well, the reality of it is too, you know, like with COVID, I had COVID conditions that I had to look after as well. So I had to make sure that everybody was COVID safe. You know, I made sure that craft services were provided for my actors so that they would have something to drink and were refreshed, and food and sources were there. You know, it's about timing and planning. It's the organization is everything in film production, and making sure that you have enough Indians and, you know, not a bunch of chiefs on set and people trying to dictate the flow. It's got to be the director's call on everything. So that's very important to make sure that everybody's in their proper places and everything's organized. Organization is everything.
Right. So y'all heard it. You were trying to run a movie. Organization. Organize. I think I saw another film that you of yours. Is there another one that you had done? I saw a poster for it.
Yeah, that's Darkness. Yeah, it's actually behind me right there.
Okay, was there another one I had seen, or was it just did you make 2 for Darkness? Maybe that's what I'm thinking about.
No, I think, well, I have multiple posters for the film. Yeah. But I've been, this last year, I've worked with 15 different film directors and worked on 15 different films this last year. It's
Wow.
been a very, very busy film.
So where have you gotten to travel? Like working on that kind of stuff?
I literally it was like 3 weeks ago, I was in Jacksonville, Florida, filming a film called Dark Water, which is a feature film that's being filmed out there.
That's what I was talking about. That's what I think.
Yes.
It was Dark Water. It was dark. I knew it was something with the D. Okay. Dark Water. So tell me about that.
So that film is a period piece, and it's during the French acquisition when they came into Florida, and they basically had some of their soldiers that were there kind of doing the tour of the land. And back in those days, they kind of did that old draw straws to see who's going to stay to maintain the camp while the rest of the troops went back, So this is basically a story about one of the soldiers that he's there and runs out of food. So he starts eating the mushrooms in the local area and has this trip basically, and runs into me as a Native American. And I guide him back to who he thinks is basically Jesus, which is actually the Spanish. And then he befolds a terrible fate. Well, I do as well, but because the French and the Spanish didn't go along.
Yeah.
So it's a really cool story though.
Yeah. So how is that? So how's it been like filming? Doing all that through COVID? Because I know, like me personally, my podcast really started in COVID, so I haven't been able to do as many in person. You know what I mean? Interviews. So
it depends on who I'm working with. Like when I worked on the set of Walker, you had to take 3 COVID tests before you could even get on the set.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I've been hearing about. Like if you're doing you're an actor of any types, like it's not you don't have a choice. Like they're like, I mean, I'm talking about getting tested, like as far as getting tested.
Well, yeah, and to be honest with you, the mainstream productions now, if you're going to be working in LA, if you don't have a vaccination, then you're not going to be able to work on the productions.
Yeah, they won't even. Yeah, they're not even letting you in the door out there. Yeah, I saw a lot of.
And you're still COVID testing while being vaccinated. So
right,
it's just, I always tell people it's how bad you want it. Like if you got to make sacrifices, and that's in anything in life. So like, if you make it political, it becomes political. If you just go with the flow and do what you got to do, then, it is what it is, So I try not to weigh into it in that, deep of spectrum.
Right.
But, it is it is another kind of like roadblock in a sense. But, like in life, if we allow the roadblock to stop us, then we're only stopping our own self,
Hey, man, I got a chance to take the show out to Vegas. So I had to take the precautions needed to travel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the decision I had to make or not make, and not take the show. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, man, I'm trying to get this thing to grow. So roadblocks, man, I'm going through them.
Yeah. And then you work with certain people. Like I worked with the film group in Dallas that wasn't as strict with it, and they were a major film production.
Yeah.
But, it depends. Well, I mean, Walker was in Texas, but yet it was still ran by a major, organization out of LA. So, it just depends on who you work with.
Right. That's cool, man. That's good. Yeah, it's definitely been a challenge, man. I'm glad to see it hasn't stopped the production though. So what, like these films, Darkness. So release date, did we talk about that?
Not yet. My goal was to try to get it done by October 31st this year. But I'm going to be traveling to Egypt the 14th through the 28th for kind of like a self-vacation type business possible opportunity. But so if it doesn't get released by October, then there is a possibility I'll push it back to next year and just kind of like fine tune some shots that I didn't get to shoot. But if I do get it done and get the editor to have it the way that I want it, then that will be distributed through a distribution company called Burning Bulb Entertainment. They're located out of Tucson, Arizona, and that'll go direct distribution link, 156 channels, 5 countries. And then you can look it up on pretty much any social media platform where you can kind of like purchase your films. So
Yeah, this is a big deal,
Netflix, etc. Yeah.
This is a big deal, man. So definitely, that's what's up, man. Did you have any other projects, man, that you're working on that you wanted to talk about before we get
absolutely. I would like to send a shout out to Bad Dog Media. We're working on Escape to Nowhere right now. I'm also working on another film called Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind. That'll be coming out pretty soon. Another film with David Mendez is The Chronicles. That is a kind of like a superhero, supervillain series that'll be coming out in the next 6 weeks or so. Hopefully we get started on American soil. That's a project that we kind of put off because of COVID. And that's a human trafficking film. So that's kind of like to me, I really want to get that film done because it's such a strong and powerful film.
very relevant to,
yes.
to time right now. Yes.
Yeah. So, and then myself, I have a couple other spin-off projects off of Darkness, because I'm pretty much going to take Darkness into its own parallel universe of films. So it's going to have I'm going to have 2 spin-off films from it, one is going to be called The Wheel, and it's kind of a Saw meets a game show type of movie. And then Federal Brotherhood, which is 2 federal agents that grow up in 2 different worlds, but they're basically same father, different mother.
Oh, I like it. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Hey, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you joining me today, man. I'm glad you could get on here. We got it ironed out and everything. I would like to offer up my acting services, man. If you ever if you ever need somebody in Texas, man. I got into it myself, man. I'm being dead serious, man. I'll start off wherever I need to go, man. I'll be a little extra, whatever you need.
No problem. No problem. And can I ask a favor real quick? I just want to shout out real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So if you go on Amazon Prime,
let me make it big for you.
Sure. If you go on Amazon Prime, guys, I have my book out. It's Out of an Abyss, A Life Ascending. It is on Amazon Prime, Goodreads, Walmart.com, or you can find me on www.keekeesuki.com, and that's on my website, and that'll give you a direct link to purchasing the book. And this is a book that I wrote about my prior life and me coming out of a really tough situation and growing to where I'm at now. And this will be a 5-part series eventually once I get the other books written and done. So look out for Out of an Abyss. Appreciate that.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. So so you're writing as well. Yeah, you're an author.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
That is cool, man. So when did you write the book, man?
I wrote it. It's almost 4 years now. But when I moved home to Hawaii for a couple of years, I literally kind of like took some time to figure out where I was going and what I've been through, and I started writing that book. And it was a kind of a small accomplishment, something that I wanted to kind of put out to, with these other films that it came out about that stuff, they didn't really give the truth and reality to the situation. So I wanted to give a little bit of truth to the element,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it's a crazy business and industry, man, we got out of. And it definitely, once you leave, if you've been in there, I mean, I was in 8 years. Yeah. So, I mean, I know you did some years too. It definitely will leave you like doing some soul reflection to see what the hell you're going to do. You know what I'm saying? Where you're going to go, man. So that a lot of this whole time you've been talking about, I'm like, damn, dude, he is like saying everything that I went through too, man. It's crazy, man. So it's good, man. It's good. We're on the same page with that, man. But like I said, hey, man, y'all check out Keekee's book, man. Tell them one more time where to get that from, man. Tell them where to get that book one more time.
Yeah, it's called Out of an Abyss, and you can find it on Amazon Prime, Goodreads.com, or Walmart.com.
Bet. Awesome. Y'all definitely go check that out. And if you could, man, tell them your social media handles where they can follow you.
Yeah, I'm on Keekee Takatsuki at Facebook.com. You can find me at Takatsuki, my last name, at Instagram, or you can find me at www.keekeesuki.com, and that's my website. You can find me on there, see some of my work.
Sweet. Already, man. Appreciate
And
it.
look out for Jungle Cruise. That's coming out tonight, guys. So
Yeah.
see if you see me in the background. I'll be back there
I'm
somewhere.
gonna be watching it, man. I'm gonna take a screenshot, bro, and post it. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay, for sure.
When I find it, I'm gonna take a screenshot, man. All right, man. Hey, everybody, this is the Cloud Chronicles, man. I'm your host, Jerry Blaze. This is my special guest, Keekee Takatsuki. So we're out of here, man. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good jazz. Go follow my boy, buy his book, follow him on social media, check out his films he's got out right now, and check out the ones he's got coming out in the future, man. Actor, director Keekee in the building, man. We're gonna get up out of here. Cloud Chronicles. Peace.
Appreciate it. Peace.